In 2009, a year before Daddy passed away, I spent an extended period at home in Ireland due to Daddy's decline in health. During that time, I reconnected with some of the local musical maestros, Patsy Hanley, Frank Kelly, Lord have mercy on him, John Carlos, Vincent Pierce, to name just a few. In my childhood years, we used to have rambling house sessions in my home where these musicians and many others would come to play, sing, dance and tell stories. These occasions were some of the highlights of my childhood, having a front row seat to listen to these incredibly talented musicians playing tune after tune, set after set. It was pure magic. It was at one of these sessions that John Carlos remembered that Eddie taught me for many years. He said that he could hear Eddie's style in my music. John's son was also at the session, and it came to light that his generation had often heard of the legendary Eddie Kelly. However, no one had ever heard him play. He had never made a formal recording. Later that week, at another session, a surprise was arranged for me. The door opened and Eddie Kelly walked in. "I came to hear you play," were the first words he said to me when he appeared at the door. I was dumbstruck. It was the strangest thing. It was just like I was back there in his sitting room playing music and trying to get the notes right. And I could see it was the same for him. Eddie still brought the fiddle with him, though it had been many years since he had been able to play. He sat in on that session as all the musicians quietly and reverently made room for him. The veneration and the respect for this master, it was palpable in the room. It alighted on the music and conversation like a soft veil, as did the love. I see now that I used to always challenge Eddie during my lessons with him. I used to quiz him about why he did this or how this note should be played, and he loved it. That night, all those decades later, I fell right back into that synergy again. I chastised him that he never taught me any of his compositions, and that I only became aware of his compositions years later when I became an adult. I urged him to listen to my version of a tune and to confirm if I had the correct version. That was always the defining theme of my lessons and learning with Eddie. I had to learn the correct version of the tune. That was paramount, most important than anything else. Later that night, something divinely inspired happened. After a lapse of almost 20 years of not playing, Eddie picked up his fiddle and played a few bars of his well-known composition, The Lonesome Fiddler. "That note is a B natural, not a B flat," he said emphatically. "It has been recorded wrong all these years, and that's the note that makes the tune. And I want you to play it correctly," he finished in a determined voice. 2 days later, a package arrived in the post addressed to me. When I opened it, I discovered that it contained all the sheet music for the remainder of Eddie's compositions. It had been sent by Eddie himself, 21 compositions in all.